Hello and welcome back to another episode on Life Afloat. Today's video I'm just going to have a little chat to you, tell you what's been going on, a bit of an update and that sort of thing really. It is boiling hot today. I won't complain because it's actually really nice weather. I would imagine that all the canal boat vloggers or narrowboat channels that you watch, I imagine everyone who's recording a vlog at the moment is going to be telling you how hot it is. It does get very, very hot in the boat. I've got the side hatch open and I've got the bow doors open, and that does tend to create a nice breeze coming through, so it's not too bad. It's actually quite pleasant and is generally a lot cooler in the boat than it is outside. It's been a bit of a strange time recently, bit of an emotional roller coaster if you like. We've had family bereavement. Unfortunately my granddad passed away, so I had his funeral on Thursday. It was very sad, but there's some positives as well, which I'll tell you about shortly. But yeah, I had my granddad's funeral recently. Obviously, very sad day, but at the same time, it was an interesting day. Funerals are strange things, I always think, to go to. I've been to quite a lot now, unfortunately. Family and friends and old colleagues as well. And yeah, it's a strange thing, a funeral, because it is a sad day, but it's also an interesting day because you find out things about the person that you didn't know. So, for instance, my granddad, I knew he was in the war. I didn't realise he was called into service when he was 18 years of age. He went over to Egypt and fought in the war over there, and then he was in fighting in several countries on the way back to England. He landed in Normandy on D-Day at the beach there. He was involved in the Harrier jump jet project as well, in developing that, which is pretty awesome, I think. He served in the Metropolitan Police, and when he retired from there, he basically was delivering new cars. I knew that he did this. This is what I remember him doing, was delivering brand new cars, driving them to the customers' houses and dropping them off, and then he'd get public transport back. And he did that up to the age of 85. When my understanding, if my memory serves me right, the company's insurance said no, we can't insure him to drive anymore. He's too old. So yeah, he stopped work at the age of 85 and passed away at the age of 99 and 7 months. So he had a really good innings, bless him. Yeah, he did really well. Good news now. I'm excited because a lot of you don't know this, but for a long, long time I've been playing piano. But I haven't played it for about 3 years. I haven't even sat in front of one for about 3 years. So I started lessons actually on keyboard when I was, I don't know how old I was a kid. My mum went into a music shop in Harwickham called Percy Priors and said, my boy wants to learn keyboard, can you recommend a teacher, or do you do lessons or whatever? And they recommended this guy who was an old chap who I will always refer to as Mr. Wyatt out of respect. His name was Bert and that's what he wanted to be called, but he, out of respect, always called him Mr. Wyatt. Went round his house and he was, I don't know, 80, in his 80s, and I had some lessons there. But he didn't have a keyboard. What he had was an organ. It was an old Hammond organ. So it had two keyboards, an expression pedal which you control with your right foot for the volume, and then it had an octave of bass notes that you played with your left foot. So I started learning on this organ, right? And he'd been playing for most of his life. He was quite a talented chap. So I started having lessons with Mr. Wyatt. He then got a new organ and said, you can have my old one, which was very nice of him. So that arrived, and I think it took about 5 blokes to lift it into the house. It was so heavy. It was an old thing. Weighed an absolute ton. Managed to get it into my parents' dining room. Don't know if they were overly impressed with that or not, to be quite honest, 'cause it took up quite a lot of space. And yeah, I played on the organ for, I don't know, quite a few years. Upgraded, got a nice Technics SX EN4 it was. And I started having lessons in a music shop called The Sound of Music in a place called Taplow, which is near Maidenhead. And when I was, I would have been 16, I think it was, I was due to play in their Christmas concert. They were doing a Christmas concert for the community. There was the instructor teachers there were going to be playing, and a select few students that they wanted to play were due to play as well. And I'd spent months and months practicing this repertoire of Frosty the Snowman and various other songs. And in the morning that I was due to play, I was travelling to work on my little moped. I was a carer for Mencap at the time in a place in Amersham, and I got wiped out by a car on a roundabout. I wasn't really injured as such. I remember I hit in the side of this car. He just came out onto the roundabout and just went straight into the side of me as I was exiting the roundabout. And I remember going up his bonnet, smacking my head on the windscreen, rolling back off and laying on the floor. My intention when I was laying on the floor was to get up and have a go at him, because I'd just been hit by the car. I wasn't very happy, but I decided it was actually a lot easier just to stay on the floor because I couldn't really get up at the time. So that's what I did, just laid on the floor, and then people came across and helped and what have you. And I seem to have gone off on a bit of a tangent. I'm waffling on a bit, but what I'm getting at is I was hit by this car the morning of the evening I was supposed to play in this concert, and I wasn't keen on playing at the concert. So getting hit by the car was quite handy, because I couldn't move my leg quick enough to play the bass, because it had quite a fancy bass line to play on this organ with my left foot, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't move my leg quick enough. So I got out of playing at the concert, which was quite handy. Then when I was working in High Wycombe Hospital, I started working with a chap who became a really good friend called David. He was a pianist. He'd been playing blues and boogie woogie for a number of years. He would improvise on the keyboard. Piano. It was a digital piano. I'll call it a keyboard. He'd improvise on that, and he was really good. And that got me into wanting to get digital piano. So I got a digital piano and sort of went from there, really self-taught sort of blues and boogie woogie. The shop, Sound of Music, closed down and I stopped having lessons, but I carried on playing up until about 3 years ago. So haven't sat in front of one, but I've got a piano which is up at my parents' at the moment. I've got a digital piano. I've been racking my brains thinking, how can I get it in the boat? How can it fit? I'd resigned myself to the fact that I was just going to have to sell it because I needed the money, and I'll never play again, which was quite a sad thought, because there's nothing that I enjoy more, well, apart from spending time with my girls, of course, is sitting down, playing the piano. It just distracts you from everything going on in life. It's just a really nice thing to do, and I enjoy being able to play. So I was a bit gutted that I wasn't going to be able to have the piano, but I think I figured out a way to get it in. It's going to be a bit of a squeeze, potentially. So we'll have to see. What I might have to do is, if it doesn't fit in particularly well, is sell it and then use that money to buy a second-hand portable digital piano, which will take up a bit less space, and that will certainly fit in. So I'm really happy about that. So hopefully soon I'll have my piano back in the boat, which I'm really pleased about. Now, other good news is, as you know, I've been working really hard trying to get a job. I've been applying for loads and loads of stuff, and I wasn't really hearing anything back. I have heard back from an apprentice train driver job. I didn't want to jinx it, but I'll tell you about it anyway. There's various stages to the application for this. It's for West Mids Trains. I've passed the application, the initial application. I then had to do an online assessment, which I've done. I'm waiting to hear back from that, and I got an email about 2 weeks ago saying that they've had over 6,000 applicants, so they're going through everything at the moment, and I probably won't hear back until potentially the end of September, so that is in the process. But in the meantime, I have also heard back from an agency, which is amazing because they never seem to get back to you, but I have heard back from an agency, and they've sorted me out with an induction at a warehouse job in a couple of days' time. So I'm going to go along, do this induction. It's a pass or fail thing. I'll find out on the day if I pass the induction, and if I do, then they give me a start date to start working there. To be honest, I don't really know much about it. I'm hoping I could do the night shifts because it said night shifts were available. I don't know if it's a temporary or permanent thing. Even if it's just temporary, I'll be happy. I'll be grateful for the work. So I'll keep you updated with what's going on there. But it looks like, hopefully, if I get past this induction, I'm going to have some money coming in. So I'll be really pleased about that. What else is going on? I've moved the boat. As you know, I went through Blissworth Tunnel and was moored up in Blissworth. I've moved the boat again, now up at Gayton, and I did record some footage. However, I've had a lot of complaints from people about the way I'm recording or editing the cruising videos. People don't like the music that I've been putting on, or they don't like having no music. So I thought, well, do you know what I'll do? I will put my phone on the front this time and record just the sounds of the canal as we're cruising along. Because my action camera on the front, it doesn't record sound. Well, it does record sound, but it's rubbish and it's unusable. So I thought I'll put my phone on the front and then let my phone record the sound and what's going on, and that's what I'll show in the video. My phone overheated, it was in the sun, and the file corrupted. There's only like 10 minutes of footage, which is no use to me, so unfortunately there is no video of that. It would have been a fantastic little video, but unfortunately, yeah, that's the way it is. My phone overheated and the file stopped recording, so it's no good, I'm afraid. Anyway, I hope I didn't waffle on too much in the video. I hope you found it interesting with everything that's going on. I'm near to Stoke Bruin, and one of the things that I wanted to do was get a video of Stoke Bruin, so I'll probably do a little video montage at some point in Stoke Bruin. I'll head over there maybe this evening and get some footage and just have a wander around and show you the area around there. It's a busy little canal village, Stoke Bruin, so those of you who don't know it, it'll be interesting for you to see. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As I say, I hope you found this video interesting. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. There's some links in the video description below as well, so go and check those out. You might find those interesting. And until the next video, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.